This is Cybert signing into Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 on the map, Carville. We've got another 6 players in a 2v2. As the Red Empire in the top right-hand corner, this is SAVAZAZ. Their teammate as the Yellow Soviets. This, going Crane first and MCV moving, is DeadADOLF. What Adolf could he be referring to? Who even knows? As the Orange Empire in the middle, this is Khay. And Khay is going to fight it out. He is fighting for the middle. His teammate, the Cyan Soviet player, this is EternalSlumber. Meanwhile, in the bottom left-hand corner playing the purple allies, this is BigPorkPie. His teammate on the island, who's going to be going up against the Wrath of Khay. This, as the Blue Empire, is Yannick. All right, Khay is starting this one off with a spicy fight, but it is a 1v2. Khay is proper going to 1v2. He gets the kill on the refinery. Are you kidding me? What a monster grab for Khay. He's starting to get overwhelmed. I mean, when you've got PKs, when you've got Imperial Warriors all coming after you, that is a lot of firepower to try and deal with. On top of that, it is going to be a multi-gunner turret as well. But Khay is actually kind of double timing. He's going to the low ground with the refineries and at the same time going double barracks and trying to shut down Yannick on the high ground. Now behind this, SAVAZAZ has gone for the quick expansion. No, he's actually just going for the quick oil derricks in the top left-hand corner of the map. DeadADOLF, how did he... Oh, okay, I was completely thinking wrong. DeadADOLF is not on Khay's team. They set up all of their stuff next to each other. I thought for sure they were on the same side, and they indeed are not. So this does mean EternalSlumber is trying to support Khay with this Tesla coil. And if this Tesla coil gets up, that'll be pretty difficult to dislodge, but not impossible. That sentry gun will not last, and this MCV is now getting targeted to die by the Tesla coil of EternalSlumber. We're starting off with a spicy, action-packed match. And unfortunately for Yannick, he is low on cash. He went multi-dojo to try and protect himself against Khay, and he lost a refinery at the same time. Khay has lost a harvester, but he has rebuilt it at this point, so he's doing okay in that sense. SAVAZAZ is here to support a DeadADOLF, and he is going to be able to overwhelm this Tesla coil, but he won't necessarily be able to save this MCV. The engineer, one last shot as the harvester gets the kill, and Khay is earning his keep, and the Tengus give up. The Tengus say, if the MCV is not here, we're not wasting our time. And DeadADOLF is just knocked pretty much down and out, and he's got all of his infantry clumped together. The tanks get almost free kills on all of these conscripts, all of these flags, thousands of dollars worth of infantry down the drain. DeadADOLF is out of this game. I think he literally doesn't have enough cash, and he just sold off his crane. That's the GG. The first player is out. It's a 1v2v2. It's blue and purple versus cyan and orange versus red. It's going to be a tough fight. Blue and purple, definitely the easiest start for those two guys. However, blue Yannick lost that refinery. Losing the refinery set Yannick back literally 5 minutes, it feels like. I actually do wonder what the literal time was. It was probably 2-3 minutes of game time for sure. Of like full reset, losing that refinery because he spent so much cash right at the beginning. Normally you would have enough cash to get 3 refineries. Oh, Shinobi. That's what it is. I was trying to remember the name of Shinobi in the last game. But Yannick is back into it. He's got double oil derrick. He's got triple refinery now. And EternalSlumber, he is going to be taking down these Tengus eventually. Well, no, I guess they just transform and they'll leave. They'll fly away, I assume. We'll see. All right, khay has grabbed 2 refineries, looking to grab a 3rd as well. And, well, I guess that once that harvester gets up and running, khay will be in an okay spot. 3 refineries plus an oil derrick. It's not a phenomenal position, but it is certainly a good enough position. Really good setup and really good opening from BigPorkPie. Bottom left-hand corner, free double expand up to the north, can take the 2 expansions in between as well. 4 refineries and an oil derrick is a really good start for BigPorkPie, but it does look like EternalSlumber is starting to turn his guns to the west. EternalSlumber, this may be a player that we actually do recognize, and I don't know his name. Like, this kind of feels like it might be God of War, but it could be someone else. God of War and khay, I think they've played some games together, so there might be some kind of precedence there. Athena cannons coming down from the high ground. BigPorkPie is not going to be giving up without a fight. EternalSlumber is here. Leeches down that multi-gunner turret, switches over to his guns. He's already stolen away. Looks like a Tengu weapon. And look at that, he is set to that aggressive stance. So he's just gonna wipe the floor with those walls. He's just taking down those walls as he's driving around. Another multi-gunner turret will go down. Harvester gets cleaned up and going to be healing up these hammer tanks off of those buildings. Cleans up the power plants. Kay's got his 3rd refinery up and running. Naval Yard's coming up as well. BigPorkPie, he is forming his defense. Hammer tanks decide to leave that refinery, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, they can end the refinery pretty quickly here. And, oh, EternalSlumber is getting so many Peacekeeper kills. The barracks as well, and the bridge goes down. How many Peacekeeper kills has this bear gotten? Enough to go heroic. Slowly, that bear will get cleaned up, unfortunately. But EternalSlumber doing massive damage to the infantry trying to reinforce from the island. And BigPorkPie has been kicked out of the bottom left-hand corner of the map. EternalSlumber could very well take that place for himself, try and set up an expansion there, and widen out the 2 players in the southern edge of the map, widen them out to be the entire southern edge of the map, east to west, the entire bottom leg of that mini-map. Yeah, Yannick has rebuilt quite nicely. Critical Meds pointing out that Yannick, after an extremely slow start due to khay, has bounced back reasonably well, and because both of the bridges are cut off, he's pretty safe right now. There isn't much of a naval threat, although we do expect that to change. khay has placed his naval yard in a place that can be targeted by artillery from the high ground. So if Yannick goes for some kind of artillery, he can pretty quickly kill off a tier 3 docks. Tengus are coming in for the harass. They may want to stop this tower core before it gets established. Otherwise, there will be a tower on the high ground, although these 5 Tengus should be able to deal with that. Nicely done here. Grabs the kill on that tower core. Gonna get the annihilation. Harvester's getting knocked down. Yannick having to pull Harvesters off of the line and also losing a couple. Losing one, pulls one off. It's the Tengu fights. Tank Busters are also here. And I mean, khay is definitely going to lose that Tengu fight, so he wants to get as much value as he possibly can before he escapes with his Tengus. SAVAZAZ has taken over the top side of the map. He lost his teammate. And, well, it looks like he's about to go tier 3 as well. But he has not lost his will to fight. And the EternalSlumber, very nice with these wall segments. Not necessarily, you know, the best setup overall, but very nice looking with these wall segments here. I think that striker is kind of trapped in that location. He may have to transform to actually get out of that spot, or maybe he just needed the harvester to die. A little bit of collision happening there. Flak cannon is here, and that striker's just going to get targeted down. Tengus are here from Kay as well, and the refinery will stand. Flak cannon is getting distracted by other targets. Kay swings around to the north side and kills the striker before getting cleaned up himself. But he saves the refinery. Well, for now, I guess maybe not completely saves it, as these Tengus are now targeting down that refinery. Tesla coil on the way as well. Battles erupting in various other places. And trading one more Tengu for the refinery kill is probably worth it. The rest of the Tengus do escape. One of them, fully heroic. BigPorkPie has not been able to take the bottom left-hand corner of the map, reclaim it rather. He is instead going for a Tanya play. BigPorkPie sitting on 4 refineries and an oil derrick. That's an okay economy for sure. Tanya is inside of the Sentry Bomber. We'll try to keep an eye on that. Hammer tanks! They can defeat tank busters without crushing them. They do just need to destroy an entire bridge. Kay loses 2 refineries out on the water. Kay is completely beaten back, still has the tier 3 war factory, does not have the naval yard though. So that was a price that he paid. Yannick now coming out with a bunch of strikers from the island. He is ready to go. Sentry Bomber's still just hanging out, and Kay is just camped out on top of these tank busters. They are all still there, but they're just in their hidey holes waiting for that MCV to move. And I guess Kay is a little bit trapped there unless he's able to get some Tengus over to save him. Striker's going to be taking down 2 refineries. Can they get the super reactor as well? They're just going to kind of pull back. That, honestly, they could probably get more damage if they wanted to stick around. I think they only have 1 bullfrog to contend with. All right, there's 3 bullfrogs still coming in from the right. So eventually they would have been forced away. And Kay is eventually going to be killing SAVAZAZ tank busters, but it was a good attempt. Good attempt by SAVAZAZ, but just not meant to be. Oh no, where did that Sentry Bomber go? There it is. That's the one with Tanya, the one I have highlighted. Going to bomb out 2 refineries. SAVAZAZ losing 2 refineries to BigPorkPie. Striker versus Striker. Anti-ground versus anti-air. And it looks like Yannick will come through with the victory. Yannick, after being beaten back so far, is managing to beat back SAVAZAZ, take him out of the island and say, this is not your home. This is not your place. This is my home. This is where I belong. Psionic Decimator is on the field. SAVAZAZ has added it on. Also, he's adding some other stuff on as well. Psionic Decimator joining together the psionic powers of 6 Eureka clones. Hanging out there in the Psionic Decimator. Oh, Sentry Bombers. They're all heading for the island. One of these has Tanya inside, and they're heading for the bottom right-hand corner of the map, knocking on Kay's door, knocking on EternalSlumber's door. I guess they're just going to hang out for a moment before they actually get sent out on their mission. Twin Blades coming in from EternalSlumber and knocking down the tower, which is stopping anyone from harvesting from these watery expansions. SAVAZAZ, he's starting to pick a fight. He's going to go after BigPorkPie, but at the same time, we see EternalSlumber is marshaling on the east side of the map. He is looking to potentially go up north and knock on that door. SAVAZAZ is going to be going for the War Factory, might even be able to get the power plants as well, slowing down those timers for the super weapons of BigPorkPie. There is still a Tanya in the middle of the map. She could turn north and go for the kill on the Psionic Decimator, while all of these Tengus are here on the other side of the map. A couple of Tengus transform, taking care of the Javelin soldiers on the ground, while the Chopper VXs deal with everything else from the sky. BigPorkPie lands a cryo shot on 4 Tengus, but will it be enough to actually stop the onslaught? He loses the Peacekeeper, but the Tengu is now here from Yannick to try and save this base. The refineries are still online, one of them getting dangerously close to death, and there's not much in the sky to actually stop these strikers. Oh no, the transform of all of those Tengus means that these strikers are just doing more and more damage. Finally, the strikers go down, the Tengus of SAVAZ get cleaned up, and these sentry bombers are still circling in the middle of the map. Tengus, MiGs, Twin Blades, all here from EternalSlumber and Khay. I keep wanting to call him Eternal Sunshine, but no, it is not Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Eternal Sunshine of the Sleepless Mind? What is it? It's some kind of mind. But EternalSlumber is the actual name. Hey, it's a funny looking Tengu. And Yurii is here. Yurii gets the kill on multiple. It looks like at least one Wave Force Artillery, maybe 2, and a ton of tank busters. Khay with the Yurii play says, I don't care if there's a Tanya been circling in a sentry bomber. There we go. For 10 minutes. It just doesn't matter to me. Balloon bombs get called in. I think they were supposed to either go to the Proton Collider or like hit some power plants or something, but they are just doing nothing now. EternalSlumber did eventually take over the bottom left-hand corner of the map. He kicked BigPorkPie out of that section of the map so long ago. But it just took him a while to actually get over there and establish anything for himself. Yurii is worried about these Athena cannons, and rightly so. Khay is trying to contest the Empire firepower of Yannick. Yannick, who has been making just a very high-powered comeback for a while now. Twin Blades right on the edge of the range of the anti-air of Yannick. I don't know where those sentry bombers went. I just realized. Oh, no, they're still here. They're still circling. All right, well, we're going to assume this sentry bomber is the one with Tanya because it got split off from the rest. But we will see. BigPorkPie is hoping that he can end Khay with one fell swoop. The MCV has been identified. But they are going for the super reactor, going to force the sell-off there, and that is low power mode. Tanya does not get dropped. If she does, she's going to get gunned down. The sentry bombers peel off to the left. Okay, well, Tanya's dead now. One way or the other, she just got eliminated. 0 seconds until the Chronosphere, 1 minute 56 until the Psionic Decimator, 1 minute 30 until the Proton Collider, and then it will be Yannick's turn to blast off with his super weapons as well. This is the joint task force, blue and purple, joined together in the middle of the map, going for the super late game. Double super weapon, or quad super weapon if you count the somewhat defensive super weapons as well. And having that Chronosphere always at the ready. It's like, you got a couple of aircraft carriers, yoink, no you don't. You got a couple of Athena cannons, yoink, no you don't. When you've got that Chronosphere, you've always got a little bit of a threat that you can nuke any unit that you need to very quickly. Oh, a couple of Sea-Wings do get taken down. Nice move by Khay to cut down some of the anti-air capability of Yannick, but it's still not enough. SAVAZ goes onto the island. He is looking for literally any damage that he can, anything at all. And the masked Twin Blade player is back. I do love the attempt at the Aegis Shield, and these Twin Blades clean up every single Javelin soldier. I think you can force fire the ground with the rockets and splash those mirages. Yeah, okay, so they are able to. It is a little bit, you know, it takes a little while to clean up all of these units. Oh, the guns splash as well, okay. I wasn't sure if you could do it with the guns or if you needed a splash weapon, but I guess it works either way. Tengu's trapped Tengu's as this Eureka will be able to escape. Proton Collider is ready to go. Chronosphere is ready to go. But these Rocket Angels from Khay are here now. Tengu's as well looking for the fight, hoping to bring their guns against Yannick and thin out his numbers. Shogun battleships getting a couple of shots there, and the Wave Force Tower from the high ground as well. Emperor's Rage is going to fire off on both sides. These Empire players are looking for the kill. Proton Collider fires off somewhere on the map, taking a big chunk out of someone's base. Looks like it was this Empire base in the north. Gets himself 5 or maybe even 6 of those power plants. Freezes that psionic decimator shortly after it blasted off as well. Firing into the middle of the map. Yannick going for the kill. SAVAZ committing a ton of Tengus into the attack, hoping that he can transform his way to victory. Yannick is lighting up SAVAZ, who showed up with a ton of Tengus. It is going to leave with not much at all. Tengus against Tengus, but he really does need to transform to survive the strikers. If he could transform, he would still have to deal with the tsunami tanks, and now he just doesn't have the numbers, but he takes down the power plants. Low power mode once again for Yannick, as that psionic decimator is just frozen at 2 minutes. It's a hit for hit, the low power mode going back and forth from these folks. Tengus are here, targeting down those ore refineries, targeting down those defenses. Khay is hoping to clear out enough units so that his Eureka can actually do the massive damage that she does. Goes into the building, will target a power plant, tries to go heroic from inside of the building, and she gets it. She goes heroic, so now she can heal herself behind closed doors. And Khay is going for the kill. It's Tengu against Tengu. Khay is happy to make that fight happen. And Eureka is running for the hills, but she can't make it. Not into another building as Khay exits the airspace of Yannick. The attempt was made, but Khay just couldn't make it happen. Unfortunately for him. Hammer tanks not so good against Shogun battleships as Yannick tears apart EternalSlumber's forces. I keep wanting to call him Eternal Sunshine, but just tears apart EternalSlumber's forces. Twin Blades over top. EternalSlumber says 2 can play at the mass air game. Although if he's able to pick off this Imperial Docks, that would be a massive get. No more Shoguns, and he gets it. The Tier 3 Naval Yard goes down. And that is a hammer tank that's stolen an APOC weapon there. At some point, that hammer tank has definitely seen some stuff. I don't know where he stole that from. Oh, the only other Soviet player is actually gone. I genuinely don't know where he got that from. I don't think he leached his own unit, and that must be another unit. That must not have been an APOC tank that gave that up, like maybe a King Oni or something, I don't know. I think the King Oni looks a little bit different. Chronosphere almost gets eliminated. Khay is ready to go again with this Eureka. This one is not heroic. She will have to earn her stripes. Tengu's committing into the attack. They've got point defense drones on both sides. And Eureka's like, okay, well, maybe we'll exit here. He's going to try and catch a couple of the Tengus on the edge. All right, Psionic Decimator is ready. 2 minutes until the Proton Collider. There's going to be the scan coming in. Hitting the power plants, I mean, that is one way to kind of knock your opponent down for a moment. Or going for mass Twin Blade. Either one could be a good spot, but this is going to be a lot of friendly fire as Yannick loses to the Tank Buster surprise. Kay distracting with the massive attack. Yuriko in the building, goes for the kill on the King Oni, but has to evacuate and will try and leave the area. She's going to juggler school as she's looking to join the circus, and that has been a while since I've seen a juggle into Tengu firepower. That is some Phoenix lifting level stuff from Yuriko and these Tengus. And she's going to send that Tengu up into the sky, gets the multi-gunner turret as well, the Harvester and the Tengu, and this is a perfect combination. Goodbye Tier 3 War Factory. Kay is finally making it happen. He's finally getting it to start, and he is just lighting up this Empire player. He knocked down Yannick's refinery in the beginning of the game with his infantry, and he is now here to finish the job. Yannick has been completely gutted after so many attempts by Kay, and no! What just happened? Okay, Yuriko survives. She can survive a bonsai charge, apparently, and there's going to be the transform of those Tengus. The Harvester coming in to try and be the hero, but Yuriko is just not going to let it happen, healing up through all of this, looking for the kills on these a little bit further out buildings. Now look at this. Kay is being so careful to try and protect his Yuriko. At the same time, BigPorkPie going to be taking a lot of damage as SAVAZAZ shows up. Massive Empire army, 4 King Onis, but very limited infantry support. So this army could be vulnerable, but there just aren't the numbers. There aren't the units on the side of BigPorkPie, but that Spectrum Tower is worth $1 million as it gets a kill on a fully heroic Yuriko. But a 2v1 is hard to do. Kay and SAVAZAZ, the 2 Empire players in this game, accidentally joining forces to knock out the purple-blue team. Proton Collider fires off huge damage onto the super reactor, onto the airfields, and onto the refinery. Doesn't find the kill on the super reactor, but it does find the kill on the aircraft production of EternalSlumber. And the precision bomber is just not enough to kill that off. Power plant's getting targeted down. Chronosphere trying to be taken offline. And there's going to be the Emperor's Rage firing off to add additional power to these units. And look at this. The King Onis kill off the power plant that get the low power mode, which is exactly what Kay was trying to do. He was trying to take the power offline, and he needed a little bit of help from his Empire brother from another team. So it's going to be SAVAZAZ, who has just a ton of the map under his control. He's had 6 refineries for a really long time. He's got quite a few power plants. He's got the Psionic Decimator out on the field. He's used it at least once. He's got a lot of stuff on the map. And it's going to be him versus EternalSlumber and Kay. We're going to be turning into another 1v2, it looks like, as Yannick and BigPorkPie, they fought well. They did good, but they did okay. But not good enough. Hectodrone pointing out that Kay has been playing a lot of this game off of very few refineries. Like, yeah, he's back up to 4 now, plus an oil derrick. But yeah, at various points in this game, Kay really had 1 refinery in the oil derrick. Maybe at some points 2 refineries, but he lost these refineries, and so for a while he only had this refinery. That's just not much cash. 3rd Yuriko is the charm, maybe. I mean, we'll find out. But the Yuriko number 2 did a ton of damage, so we will see. Refinery doesn't quite get all of that cash, and the Harvester will go down. Tank Buster Surprise is a powerful weapon when it is unnoticed. Sea-Wing gets taken down. Yuriko trying to earn some of that veterancy. And Kay looking to step up onto the island. He's looking to retake his ancestral home. No transform for those Tengus. He didn't notice soon enough and so he wasn't able to stop that, avoid that Tengu, or avoid that, whatever it's called, avoid the Crowd Blast. Crowd got it. Double vet. Goes heroic. He's back. He has got a bunch of Tengus and a heroic Yuriko Omega. Savaz calls in kind of a strange final squadron, but I think that's mostly just for scouting. He's 5 seconds away from that Psionic Decimator, and I think he wanted a little bit of vision to know where is a good spot to use that Psionic Decimator. He didn't get as much vision as he was maybe hoping for, but he did kind of get an insight into the bottom right-hand corner. He can, of course, keep that Psionic Decimator around and just try and, you know, nuke an army with it. Classic move. This Tesla Coil and Flak Cannon have not been dealt with all of this time. Balloon Bombs called in on that. Tank Buster Surprise also called in, but it's not actually going to do anything. It's not going to land. Satellites getting called in on this army. Toxin drop as well. The satellites will largely miss. Not really claiming any lives. Final squadron called in by Kay. Tengu's in the sky versus Tengu's in the sky. One have point defense drones and Emperor's Rage, and they are clawing through the numbers, but they can't do anything about the strikers on the ground. Kay loses out. The massive, massive army of Savaz is here to stay, and he has got a Psionic Decimator behind this. 5 Bullfrogs. These guys are going to go heroic. They're getting so many kills. Massive, massive damage. And that, well, that just completely disappears. Yannick has been defeated. Yannick and BigPorkPie haven't been doing much for the last couple of minutes. Bullfrogs trying to chase down those Tengus. And these King Onis are here on the front line. Psionic Decimator looking for the hit on all of the infrastructure of EternalSlumber. And that is going to be the end of the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Although the MiGs show up, they're cleaning up all of the Tengus, so the Twin Blades will be unopposed if they're able to finally get back on top of those King Onis. Yuriko Omega is going to be showing up for Kay as well. It's not all lost, but it is almost all lost in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Double heroic King Oni, massive damage from those guys. But no Tengus means no way to stop the Twin Blades, and also apparently no way to stop the juggling of Yuriko Omega, who is dropping these Wave Force artillery all over the place before she gets sniped by a heroic Wave Force artillery. That guy is a true hero. MCB going down, a massive slaughter in both directions, as even a couple of Rocket Angels. Are you kidding me? Rocket Angels getting in on the fight. Going to be using their Paralysis Whip to lock down these units. And that is a Hammer Tank with a heroic Hammer Tank with a King Oni weapon. Here to fight for EternalSlumber. And then all was quiet. Balloon Bomb and Final Squadron. They might actually get it. It's going to be close. Barely not. 10% HP. If there was a satellite drop, they definitely would have gotten it. EternalSlumber and Kay, they're looking to slowly take over the top of the map. Cryogeddon fires off, finds the Tier 3 War Factory, gets the power plant as well. Savaz has taken over the top left-hand corner of the map, but he is also fighting multiple enemies at once. And BigPorkPie, basically dead, but still fighting. Has a Tier 2 barracks, a couple of refineries from the Empire, and then a whole lot of allied stuff. 3 refineries under his control, 1 oil derrick as well. So he's got okay income, but they are probably all depleted refineries. So it's basically 1 refinery, 1 oil derrick, which is not good income. But, you know, you'll take anything you can get at this point. Yuriko is here for the 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th time from Kay. To be fair, his Yurikos have been doing pretty well, all things considered. Tank Busters on the high ground, killing off a refinery. It's going to take a long time to reclaim that value. Ooh, that's rough. BigPorkPie loses 2 refineries. That's most of his income. Loses 2 Apollos also. Another final. How often do you get these final squadrons? It's like every 10 seconds these final squadrons are getting called in by Kay. Oh, he gets it! I did not think that was going to be enough damage. He actually gets it. Final Squadron level 2, on the other hand, doesn't manage to clean up either of its targets. It may have been placed in the middle, so it may have been a little bit of split damage across it. Rocket Angels clean up the Apollos. BigPorkPie, I guess he's technically still in this. He has a lot of production facilities. He has 1 oil derrick, 1 depleted refinery worth of income. Balloon bombs getting called in. MiGs trying to force them to drop their bombs early so you can't control them. But the airfields might actually both survive. Yeah. Wow. That was kind of a hit and a miss. It obviously, like, it did a lot of damage to the buildings, but kind of a hit and a miss. BigPorkPie might finally be lifted out of low power mode by, uh-oh. Is that satellites? Did he just drop massive satellites? Yes, he did. I think the idea is the magnetic singularity pulls the units into the satellite drop, but that completely did not work at all. BigPorkPie has 1 oil derrick of income. If he doesn't rebuild his MCV, he's pretty much out of this game. Balloon bombs getting called in, trying to shut down that naval yard, and they will get it eventually. Balloon bombs getting absolutely nuked, and oh, all of those jabs get eliminated. Even a couple of these Apollos are right on the edge of danger, as SAVAZ is getting savaged by these Rocket Angels. 2 refineries getting taken out, but the Tengus will be here to deal with the Rocket Angels. And Rocket Angels do burst damage, so they actually trade pretty well, apparently. Those Tengus were not able to, like, waypoint down the Rocket Angels fast enough. And Kay actually did a good job of not massively overkilling those Tengus. Sometimes what you see is even though Rocket Angels have very fast attack, they're sometimes slow to reacquire targets. And so Rocket Angels can struggle against large numbers of lower health units because they'll massively overkill 1 Tengu, and then it'll take them a moment to reacquire their target. SAVAZ has been defeated. Bit of a tap out, bit of a let down from the last couple of minutes, and that means BigPorkPie, who I think doesn't have an MCV, doesn't have a naval yard, doesn't have a way to get back in this game, has 1 oil derrick worth of income. And I think that's going to be it. Perhaps a bit unfortunate for BigPorkPie. 1v2 v2 for a little while recently, ever since Yannick left. But SAVAZ was 1v2 v2 for basically the whole game. Just massive amounts of props to SAVAZ for playing the 1v2 v2 as long as he did, for going as far as he did, for getting as much done as he did. Those hydrofoils absolutely lighting up everything in the sky. Massive damage, huge, huge kills. But that is going to be it, so get your gavels out. Should this game go to YouTube? Is this a game that is good enough to go on the YouTube channel, or should it be thrown away? Another game that's 40 minutes long. Pretty massive action overall. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Cyber signing out.